it is time I speak about two things, which is my migration to G2 and the upcoming KvK. Now, first I'm going to speak about the migration. I'm going to say where I'm going, why I'm going, and when I'm going. And then I'm going to be going over the KvK, the enemy teams mainly, and what to expect to be happening. So, yeah, let's just get straight into it. For KvK, for migration, where am I going? Well, I'm gonna be migrating to Kingdom 60. If you know who's Kingdom 60, it is Milk currently. Previously, it was Echo. Some of their players, when Echo disbanded, went to other kingdoms, and then they decided to go back again and try to make an alliance of their own. Currently, they're in KvK. They're fighting against RFF in Zone 3. They won in Zone 2 against Inc. But right now, yes, I think it's fair to say they're losing this zone, although the enemy is not able to push them outside the Hydra. Obviously, as this was one of the options that I was considering, I've been checking them. I gotta say, I'm impressed. They're like 100 member alliance, and they have roughly the same amount of merit as RFF, which is way higher in power and has like 200 members. I mean, keep in mind people are moving between shells, so it's a bit confusing exactly to know how many merits and how many members there are. As you can see, it's pretty much full. They're missing some players, and they have the biggest, I mean, I don't know if it's the biggest, but one of the biggest Krakens in the game. Like this guy, it's the Putin guy. It's just like, it doesn't make sense how like the amount of money he spends on several accounts. So yeah, I'm gonna be migrating to Milk. I think it's gonna be fun. I wanna be for the next new KvK in like a big baller KvK. What to say about Milk? If you're interested in recruitment, as it says here, contact High Princess. If you're Korean, contact MG, it's gonna be easier for you. Why did they choose this alliance? So they are 100 members, clearly they are active. That doesn't mean 100% of them are active. I know some people will be removed due to inactivity, so that's another thing that I value, which is them getting rid of their deadweight no matter who it is. So that's a W for me. So what I see in Milk is I see an alliance that's 100 members. I don't know currently, but at some point when the alliance was being made, their average power per member was like 200 mil, which is absolutely insane. Because that already tells you the type of accounts that started in Milk, just big baller players. And I think I bring something that they miss, which is 100 members is hard to fight. Like they've been telling me, for example, in Bastion fights, it's really hard, not because of decos or anything like that, but because you get a feel with only 100 people versus the enemy has 200. The same people need to be removing the troop, removing, refreshing, etc, and it gets really, really hard. So, I see like the level of accounts they have, the level of spending, and I see they are only 100 members and they have the chances, to be fighting against 200. So that kind of hypes me up. Another reason is I think, for example, what they need now is to fill more regular members. Like they don't need to be bringing more like uber mega Krakens, but just regular guys, regular players, even new players like me, who are just gonna put the hours. I'm gonna be grinding 9-10 hours of PvP every single day when the KvK drops, and that way they fill the field, and they still have the big players to do all the Bastion fights, to cap rush, etc, etc. So I think I bring that to the table. In exchange, I get high activity kingdom, high spending kingdom, and a chance to be participating in really, really packed KvKs. So yeah, that's where I'm gonna be going. Now, when am I moving there? The issue with G3 to migrating to G2 is the timeline. It's really awful, okay? I already told Zebra, like at the R5 of War, at the end of last season, that I was gonna move to G2. Now, do I have any problem with War? Or with the leadership of War? Nope. It's nothing like that. My plan was already to move to G2, and I was gonna do it maybe before past season, but then I decided I'm not sure if I'm ready in terms of troop count, etc. So I said, okay, let's go to G3, join War. The alliance is completely fine. Good activity. They have like couple max deco guys, leadership do their job. The main reason I'm leaving is for content. I told Zebra, look, are you planning on moving to G2? Because if you're moving to G2, I may consider staying. He said, no, not yet, we're not ready. I completely understand it. So the main reason is for content. Last KvK was awful in the sense of there was barely any fights. Having content for me means I can pull up videos, I can do different stuff. Without that content, then I either do some random ass video or, so that was the main reason, is content. Like, nothing wrong with the war. Yes, they dropped some power, part of the leadership decided to start a new project in another server, but they still, we're still going, and I think this KvK is gonna be really, really fun and really refreshing for the Alliance. So yeah, if you're interested in a G3 Kingdom, I recommend you War. War has really good chances of going back again to that 15 to 16 build power or higher, and the activities is it's nice. Like, people show up to PvP. They're, they focus on removing that way. Now, with that out, what I was gonna say, I'm gonna be migrating to Mild after final zone of this KvK, but before EOS, because sadly the migration doesn't line up where I can claim my EOS rewards, for example, and then migrate. Like, if I could, I'd stay up until the end, but I don't think it's gonna be possible from where I remember. Now, for the current KvK. So, this is the Brink of War. As you can see, we're third currently. Here's the map. So, 575, 721, 275, 584 is our camp, or, our side, versus 714, 736, 544, 734. I already looked a bit on those kingdoms, and I'm gonna tell you, if there was a season where I say, look, I wanna go hit 50, 100 mil merits, it'd be this one. It's a bit weird this season, okay? They have, all these kingdoms have high power players, I'm talking some 100 to 200 mil players, and then they have fucking T4s at 30 and 40 mil, which is and they are 200 members alliance. We are 130, 140 kinda, but 80 to 90% of the alliance is T5. Let's just check this out. For example, 714, this is their big top dog, okay? This is their big kingdom. So we'll see that they have couple 200 mil players, for example. Let me check, where is it here? So it's Ash. If you check here, for example, 100 mil, 272 mil power, 100 mils, but then they have, for example, a 46, 44, I think it's still somewhat doable. They're gonna suffer, no doubt, but I think it's still doable. But you're gonna see 41 for me, 39 starts being real painful. Those players are gonna see my infantry, hit my infantry, and literally trade negative and fill their hospitals just by hitting my infantry. If I cap bomb with my T5 cap marches into the enemy ball and they have their marches there, only through the artifacts I'm gonna be hitting them for 80k to 100k. So, I think this is the problem when you make an alliance that's pretty much full with really high power players and somewhat low power players. They're these 40 mil power players are gonna struggle. It will be painful for them, because in borderline the wind is gonna it's literally gonna hurt them. 40 mils, and by the way, this is not the worst alliance in terms of how many T4s they have. You will see in a bit that there's another enemy we're facing that have some even 25 mil players. Let's just go to another one. 736 and so yeah, I'm not sure if it was these ones or 734. Let's see. But as you can see, printing merits in this KvK is gonna be really easy, just by the sheer amount of T4s that I'm gonna be facing. Wait, oh no, yeah, it's this one. So I think this one is probably, look at this. You have a 70 mil or 5, some 138 mil, 100 milers around here, and then you got the 27 mil and a 24 mil. These two guys, it's gonna be unplayable for them. At 40 mil, 41 mil, you're already starting to get the PvP tech almost maxed, so at least the stat difference is that huge. But at 24 mil, 27 mil, it's gonna be unplayable, that's the truth. My cavalries will literally one-shot them, Mages artifacts like AoE ones, if they get hit, they will lose like 1/3 of the march from the go. So I don't know, this KvK is gonna be kind of weird in that sense, where it's like we're gonna be at number for sure, like 34 mil, but the 26 mil, you know, like they have some 100 millers, but at the same time they have this 32 mil versus War, for example, which is like we don't have 200 members, we have 130 to 140, but everyone's like, you know, from 70 to 150 mil power. We have obviously some below and some up, but I'd say that's the average. As you can see, some 20 mil, 29 mil, 33 mil, 47 mil. So again, sure they're gonna outnumber us, but I don't know, I feel when I say on my Kumakwan or my G5 Inf, all those T4 players are gonna like suffer a lot. I'm gonna check the two remaining enemy kingdoms, which I think it's 544 and 734, if I remember correctly. Okay, yes, this is 54. So RDL, Renaissance does lag. As you can see, 59, 8 mil power, 61. I mean, this is fine. 58, 61 probably has some T5s. You can heal them and fight. 39, a bit low for the type of enemies they're about to face. 49, I mean, around 50 mark, I'd say it's fine. But for example, 34 mil, that guy is getting cooked. Same for the 40 mil, probably. But yeah, as you can see, like, and the thing is, it's players that they will have to resource heal a lot if they want to keep up with us. Because for example, my infantry account right now is 91 mil power. Only through elixir, I'm probably getting almost 1 mil elixir a day. And I have 3 mil T5 infantry. Like, I'm gonna TP, start slamming infantry non-stop, and sure, I'm gonna run out of stamina, but the hospitals on these players that are like on the 40 mil power range is gonna feel so fast. Last enemy, and by the way, like, it's not me saying, oh, they're bad. No, it is not about being bad or like about having bad strategy. It's just the quality of the account. Like, obviously, as you can see, the numbers of the kingdoms that I'm checking, they are new kingdoms. So it is obvious that they're gonna have some lower power players. But I think, you know, I'm not sure why we're facing them. I guess that might be more my point. So again, as you can see, T4 around here, T4 there. Some T4s and T5s. Oops. Again, like 20 mil. Like, for example, 52 mil power. You could say, well, maybe he's T5. Sure, he might be T5, but he doesn't have that insane amount of T5s to be fielding T5s non-stop, which, for example, I can do now with my infantry. Which means he's gonna have to resource heal 30 mil, 31 mil. You know, like, sure, they have, like, as you can see, 123, 132. Like, at the end, it's going to be based on activity. But what I'm saying is, if we get our T5 players active, and they get their players active, because, like look at this. You know, like, I don't know. I think these kingdoms will struggle for real, in the sense of people will feel demotivated to play on their side. At the start of the zones, maybe we're on the back foot, in the sense of they have way higher activity than us, and more players on the field, so we're gonna feel that. But over time, I'm gonna be looking at my reports, seeing crazy amounts of merits. They're gonna look at the reports, they will see that they were hitting some infantry that's full T5 and losing like 1, 2, 3, just from pure counterattack. They're gonna be, you know, like, F this. So, I don't know, I think this KvK is gonna be a fun one, as long as everyone shows up and there's no drama, etc. Do I think we're gonna win? I don't know yet. I have to check our allies. Like, all I checked is the enemies. So we're gonna be fighting 734 and 544 in this zone. And the good thing about this KvK is everyone's guaranteed to enter final zone. So yeah, I don't know. Should be a fun KvK. But as I said, like, and the main reason I want to remind everyone that I'm gonna be leaving no matter what at some point during final zone is, I don't know if we're gonna win or if we're gonna lose. What I don't want is people then to say, oh, they're losing, now he's jumping the boat. No, I want to set it here clear as water. During final zone, I'm gonna be migrating, because that's, like, I'm trying to delay it as much as possible. Like, literally, when I see the registration in time, if there's PvP, I'm gonna migrate the last tower before registration. Like, I'm gonna try to help the kingdom as much as I can. But for me personally, for the YouTube channel, and it's mainly the new KvK, I do feel I want to be in G2 and be with the big boys. even if maybe I'm not ready yet, I mean, at least I got a good chunk of resources. So yeah, with that out of the way, as always, I'm gonna catch you in the next one.